Again, Broncos country.
Really excited to chop up some Broncos with you all this week.
Bourbon, Broncos, and no BS.
Favorite time of the week, but not for the Raiders, Chargers, or Chiefs. So grab your brews and your fantasy league. We got that blue and orange blood that you bleed. The most loyal fans there ever could be. We are that mile high Broncos country.
Orange Weekly. Fans, brews, and Broncos news.
What is going on, Broncos country? Welcome to another episode of the Orange Weekly Postgame podcast. I am here with Rob and John. Gents, how you both doing today?
Doing good, Kevin. Doing good.
Broncos win. How y'all doing?
I forgot we were live. I didn't know we were starting this thing.
Hey,
I feel like every time
again.
me and John just try to go at the same time, so I give it a half a second to let him go first.
So next time I'll call one of you out individually. First,
That's
Rob,
right. We'll figure it out.
how you doing, man?
I'm fan-freaking-tastic. 1 point win over a pretty decent 49ers team gives us a good bit of clarity on where we stand, and it was a semi-ugly win, but we still got a lot of things to clean up.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Emphasis
John.
on the semi in that semi-ugly win. Second time in history. Did you know that? Second time in history, the game finishes 11-10. So
Wow, did not know that.
yeah, there you go.
Fancy.
Just bringing out the facts here. And
Love it.
it was rough to watch, usually when the offense was on the field. But, man, that defense looks good. And for once, we can say that our special teams is also looking fantastic. Something new for Broncos country in the last 5 years.
Right. Completely.
Aside from McManus. He's always
Right. He's always been the shining star. But our punter had 3 or no. How many punts within the 20? It was something crazy, like 6 punts within the 20 or something like that.
6 out of 10.
I mean, he was lights out phenomenal last night. Then you have players like PJ Locke going down there making plays on special teams, doing things to set up the safety and whatnot. The special teams definitely played a huge role in our win yesterday, in addition to the defense.
So much so that Waitman was actually labeled one of the stars of the game, which I don't know the last time you see a punter as a star of a game. Probably doesn't say good things about your offense, which of course we'll get to. Especially after a win.
Sure.
Waitman actually had
you look
6
good.
punts within the 20-yard line.
Yeah, 6. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
You look good. Look good.
Okay, well, let's start this as we normally do, guys. Let's rewind it just a little bit to right before kickoff and how we were feeling. And as everybody remembers, or maybe if you didn't catch this or whatnot, as to why this game went from, hey, it'd be really cool if we could beat these guys, to maybe show the NFL that, we're legit contenders and should be taken seriously, to, holy crap, this game means a lot. And that happened in a matter of hours. So once Kansas City lost, and then we saw Las Vegas go down, and then we saw the Chargers go down. And all of a sudden, we were in a position early on in the season to go out there, get things done, and again, not only make a statement, but make a statement more importantly within the AFC West. But what are you guys thinking going through your heads back before the game started?
John, I'm going to let you go first.
Oh, thank you, Rob. That was a great transition. Thank you. Before the game, looking forward to seeing what progress we made after last week. Our coaching staff getting a lot of flack, rightfully so, after those first two games. A lot of things to be cleaned up. So, just hoping for the best there. Not expecting to be 100% fixed in all those areas, but just looking to see some good football on the field, and not when you're playing a game like this after the way we started in those first two games from our offense, it could have gotten ugly if our defense wasn't going to be up to the challenge. Luckily they were, but they weren't. This was their first test, and I've been saying it all week. This was really going to test to see if our defense was legit or if they could just play good against what I would consider bad offenses in those first two games. And they showed up, and obviously I don't want to jump ahead, but we did see a lot of fixes from the key issues we had in those first two games. Now, there's, I think, other issues that arose in this game, but at least there's progress being made for the Broncos. And we won. Hey, a win's a win, so that's good.
I was telling Rob before the show, when you get 1 point more than the other team, that's a win, baby. We'll take it. All right, Rob, what you got?
So I was incredibly curious and a little nervous to, as John said, see what progress, we made. I was more interested in to see how this hiring of this assistant game managing coach, how that was going to translate in the game. And I'll be honest, I was surprised. And, again, we'll get into all that, but I was nervous. I know the 49ers are a really good team. Their run game is pretty dang solid. We all know that their wide receivers were phenomenal in years past and even last year. But, I have to agree with you, Kevin. I wanted to see what it was going to be, and obviously, we were all hopeful, and we squeaked out a win. So,
yeah, I think you're right. The other thing that I was waiting for and to see how it translated on the field was, and I don't have his name up in front of me, the hiring of the new assistant head coach that we got from the Ravens.
Rosberg was last name.
Yeah, Rosberg. Thank you. Yep. Yeah, I think so. But yeah, I mean, it was interesting to hear Hackett talk about the relationship between the two of them, in that they didn't have any prior relationship. This was more of a decision, I think, that Hackett recognized that they needed something, but I think this might have been a move that, involved George Payton as well, in terms of going out there and trying to find a top-notch guy, and, not just Hackett hiring another buddy of his. Which says a lot. It says a lot just to go out there and hire another guy to help with the struggles that you've been having. But then to have this, the step beyond that and say, hey, let's get somebody out there who has a whole lot of experience, has done this stuff before, and isn't necessarily part of my group, to give us, maybe a different insight to everything. So, that was interesting to see how that was going to translate on the field. And guys, that was a huge, huge improvement. We can kind of move into the offense. Let's talk about the offense first. Some positives and negatives, because I think the defense, we're going to have a lot of fun talking about those guys. So offense-wise, the big thing, we saw plays getting called quickly. They were on the line of scrimmage 25, 20, I think 15 seconds, usually at the latest. There was one time when the play clock got to 5 seconds and ball didn't get snapped until about 3 seconds on the play clock, and people did start counting down, which was annoying, because it's not a thing. It's not a trend. It's not the incomplete chant. But thankfully, that was the only time that we got even that close. The rest of the time, Russ had plenty of time to make reads. He even called, I think, some audibles out there. I mean, it was, the whole process seemed much more smooth. So, man, if that's our new benchmark moving forward, That's a huge improvement right there between weeks 2 and 3, and what what's going to improve from there off of that change.
Yeah.
Yeah, I completely agree with you, Kevin, and that's definitely what I noticed first off the bat. I can I could say that at least none of our guys up in the booth went nuts like the Bills coordinator did.
Oh God, yeah, I see that.
Freaking out. But yeah, I would like to know like what this guy was saying to Hackett, because I did read an article that said on 4th and inches, Hackett wanted to go for it, and he talked him out of it. But yeah, the whole operation as a whole seemed to run a lot smoother. I believe we had half as many penalties this week, which was phenomenal. And I mean, just to have that, I mean, when did they hire him? Like Tuesday?
It was like Tuesday, yeah. So you didn't have a whole
They
week.
announced it Friday, I want to say, but he was there the whole week.
So yeah, so I mean, in such a short time, it was a vast improvement from what we've seen over the first 2 games.
Right.
But yeah, I'm like you said, Kevin, if that's the benchmark moving forward, then I'm super excited about where this team's going to be come November. So
exactly.
Marked improvements in that area for sure, which was important because before, in those first 2 games, Russ was not getting enough time to settle the offense in and really read the defense pre-snap. And it was very evident. So I'm glad to see some improvement there. That was huge. And then Rob alluded to the other one, and this is really for the whole team, not just the offense, but the penalties. Going from 12, 13 down to 5 for 30 yards is the step in the right direction, to say the least. So
Exactly.
2 areas that really needed improvement and quickly that we saw. So that's good. And I give credit to Hackett for that. I mean, he's not shying away when people are questioning him and criticizing him. He's saying, like, I totally get it. Like, these are the areas we need to fix. And proof of that is going out and hiring Jerry Rosberg. Sorry, not Joseph. Well, correction there. And it'd be interesting to hear, how much he was in Hackett's ear, like how much of a difference it truly made. I mean, obviously we can kind of see it on the field, but be curious to see if he wasn't there, what the difference would have been in that game. Was it really him making all those changes, or was it really the team just kind of still settling into all those changes from the offseason?
Right.
But yeah, offensively, good improvements there. There were other areas on the offense that did not look as good.
No. And you can just start with the huge elephant in the room in that 9 of our 13 drives resulted in a 3-and-out, including the first 3 in a row. Guys, I have no idea how we have more time of possession. Like it literally makes absolutely 0 sense. I don't know how that happened with all of our 3-and-outs.
I don't either. And I didn't even think about that, Kevin. Yeah, we had almost 10 minutes more in time of possession. Yeah. I mean, that's going to go into our defensive talk, I think. I think both teams pretty much had the same game plan of, hey, let's try these 3-and-outs and see if that one's a game. Bold strategy, Cotton, but worked out for one of these teams. It wasn't a tie, so hey, there's that. No, but yeah, it was run, pass, I think, for the first 4 drives in a row. None of them for a first down. I know at least for the first 3. Maybe we finally got our first down on the 4th drive, but it seemed it seems like they got the hint that we want to see more of the running game, but they were just going to use that at the beginning, and they were not going to make any adjustments up front when it wasn't working, which was a little concerning. It did feel like we were going back in time to the Shermer days of what feels like long ago. But
very repetitive.
Yeah.
You're giving me PTSD, John.
That's what I'm here for, Rob.
Now, what did you guys think about the running game now that you mention it? And Rob, I'll hand this to you first. The main complaint I've been hearing from people is, well, great, we were trying to do the running game, but Javonte Williams had 15 carries and Gordon had 12. It doesn't seem, and Williams had 3.9 yards per carry. He had a 16-yard long rush. I don't know. It just seems like they're still splitting him maybe too evenly. I don't know, versus trying to find the one with the hot hand, which I thought Javonte had the edge, and near in the second half, I'm thinking, hey, maybe some hurry up offense, gas out the defense by now, keep feeding Williams the ball, maybe just a little bit more, and see if that got anything going. But I don't know. But what do you guys think, Rob? You first, man.
Yeah, no, Kevin, you hit it right on the head. They started feeding Williams the ball, and you could tell that he was starting to pick up steam. And then they put Melvin Gordon in there, and I don't know if it's just me, but we were running right up the middle way too much, and it wasn't there for us. I feel like our bread and butter with Williams and Gordon is around the outside, at least again in the previous 2 games, of what we've seen so far. Now, we only had this game. We only had 5 rushing first downs, only 5, and total yards. We had 101 total rushing yards. So I honestly feel, and again, our opinions are biased because I feel like most of us like Williams a little more than Melvin Gordon. I do for other reasons, but I digress. And I just feel that, we need to kind of lean a little bit more heavily towards Williams and feed him the ball because as you've seen in the past, you feed him the ball and he gets better as the game goes on.
Right. And I would just say the only thing with that is it doesn't necessarily have to be Williams every game. I think part of your halftime adjustment should be, hey, who has the hot hand? And let's maybe ride with them instead of a 50-50 split, maybe more of a 70-30. Obviously, you're not going to have them out there every single down, but hey, let's keep this guy in for the whole drive, maybe, and really pick up momentum there, get the hurry up offense going, which we saw a little bit, maybe a couple of times last night. So it's like, okay, you're at least thinking about it, but I think that would have been a great way to just wear down that defense just a little bit more.
Yeah. I was a little disappointed, honestly, in the run game. I mean, we still had over 100 yards, barely, of rushing, which
not
is good.
Without Russell Wilson's 17 rush yards.
Yeah, he finally came alive a little bit in the rushing, scrambling and picking up yards with his feet when he needed to. That was good to see. That was a little refreshing, honestly, because he looked at times in those first 2 games and even a little bit last night like he was a little afraid to run, honestly. But at the same time, I appreciate his approach where he's going to look to pass until the very last minute before he makes that decision to run. So it's kind of a double-edged sword there. I'd prefer him looking for the open receiver and getting the first down. That way, sometimes it looks like the clear yards are right in front of him and he doesn't take them. Anyways, different story there. But with the way that we were running those first 2 games, and maybe it comes down to the 49ers defense and that front 7 being as good as they are, because I think they are a top 10 talent in this league, at least that front 7. We could not get, I mean, you could say Javonte Williams was having the high hand, but he only averaged 3.9 a carry compared to the last 2 games where it was, 6 yards.
6.
I never saw him really getting going except for a couple, maybe 3 of those drives. So I didn't really feel like I kind of disagree with you guys on this one. But it's not like Melvin Gordon was doing it better. So right. I didn't know who to feed in this game. It is interesting compared to last year where we were doing that series per series split. Where Javonte does take a whole series or Gordon takes a whole series. Whereas this one, this year so far, we've seen them come out, in between series. So I do kind of like the idea of keeping a guy in there for a whole series when he is getting hot. It's just interesting. I think what we're doing now is a little bit more traditional compared to what other teams are doing. And it was not, in my opinion, working last night like it was in the first 2 games. I mean, we finally got a true balanced offense last night. We had 33 passes and 33 rushes, and our offense just did not look great. I don't know why. Maybe it is the 49ers defense is that good.
So interesting to think about. Good point, 33 and 33. However, 6 of those rushes were from Wilson. So if you swing that, that's a 12-point swing basically. It would have been 39 rushes and 24 passes, if those pass attempts had gone off, which just for what it is, but I think they're still trying to maybe feature Russell Wilson just a little too much. I know everybody wants to see him throw and wants to see Russ cook and stuff, but I don't know if there's still maybe just a little too much pressure where you just adjust it just a little bit more to playing it even. We weren't really down at any point outside of a one possession game. So, but you make good points there, John. Yeah, I see what you're saying.
One possession game though, and again, I just felt like we were eventually going to. I felt like we were eventually going to make that play or may have that drive that put us over the top, like we did. But man, I was holding my breath every time the defense went on the field because it's like, are they really going to stop him again?
Yeah, exactly.
Go this way again. But no, offense looked. And are we still figuring out the playbook? Like, what is the issue? And it almost feels like we're taking some backward steps, which is hard to do when you only score 13 against the Texans.
Yeah. I know. I need to look up, how many drops we officially had last night. It was definitely less than, the week 2 game, but we still have a problem with players dropping the ball. I mean, how many times does Wilson get the ball right where it needs to be?
Yeah.
And it hits the player's hand or something, and they just don't come up with it. I think that happened at least 4 or 5 times last night. They might only say officially like 2 or 3, but it was like
I think 4 or 5 off the top of my head for sure. But
so there's a couple more.
Yeah, and I don't know what you do there. Like, that's not Russ's fault. That's not the coaching staff's fault. Like, you just got to play better as the receiver.
Yeah, just got to step up
in that situation. That was the concerning part for me. Cortland looked great out there. 8 catches, 97 yards. I do think that connection is strong. But Jerry Jeudy, and maybe it's him not practicing all week, 100%. Maybe he's still not fully recovered, but he had 6 targets, only 2 catches. I want to see that getting going. He had one really nice play, but I think he had one of those key drops as well.
Yep.
Yeah, the drops have been absolutely killing us for sure. And I agree, with everything you guys have been saying. Maybe it is they're still trying to figure out the playbook. I hope not at this point in the year. I mean, this next game is going to be crucial. I mean, just for anybody who's listening that might be a Raiders fan, they are 0-3. Thank you very much.
Do you know how many teams are 0-3 in the NFL, guys?
Only them.
I think there's one. Yeah, there's just one. Yeah, weird.
Them.
Oh, interesting.
Rightfully so.
Love it.
Well, certainly that's not Josh McDaniels' fault. We all know that.
Oh, of course not. No.
Hey, they can have it.
He's a golden boy. He's their golden boy. And what was this like? I don't know if it was really a rumor, but more of a report that him and the Raiders, GM or whatever, had a nice long talk after the game or something like that. So the post-game press conference was delayed. Yeah.
Oh, really?
I can't remember who posted that on Twitter. It was we have to find it. I think one of us retweeted it.
Are we going to start the rumor mill that he's on the hot seat to get fired halfway through the season? That'd be
Dude, people are saying Hackett's on the hot seat. Like, I saw people posting articles today
we're not going to talk about that
said, is Hackett on the hot
seat? I'm okay with the
Like,
Josh McDaniels rumor, Kevin.
Right. But even then, I'm like 3 games in, no, he's not on the hot seat.
I can tell you that Adams was quoted as saying that he was frustrated and pissed off at how their season has turned out thus far. But
I kind of think that goes without saying when you're 0-3 and you had such high expectations.
Well, especially when you go from Green Bay to the Raiders and you're like, we're going to do something, and then, they're falling flat on their face. But we will not give them their first win of the season, by God.
No. But honestly, Devontae Adams, growing up a Raiders fan, he should know better. You're going from a world-class organization like the Packers to one of the most garbage franchises in sport. You know better.
Yep.
You're a fan growing up. You know better, but he doesn't because he was a Raiders fan. He didn't know better. And
there's an IQ level there. Like, that's a problem. Just gonna throw that out there.
Yeah.
But you know what?
That move had nothing to do with money, though.
Nothing at all with money. No, not at all.
Bullshit.
But speaking of IQ levels, you know what would raise your IQ levels, guys?
take a guess.
watching Orange Weekly. So I do want to mention, shout out to everybody who's watching this podcast live. I do see some comments here. We're not ignoring you. We'll try to get some of your comments here at the end, just so you all know whether you're listening to this on iTunes, Spotify, Google Play, Stitcher, wherever you listen to your podcasts, or if you're watching us live, we do this live as well when we record it Monday nights, so you can always join us here as well. But the other shows that we do are really geared towards fan interaction. So make sure you check out all of our other content. Monday night, Orange Weekly After Dark starts right after Monday Night Football, right around 9 p.m. Mountain Time. Tuesday night is our flagship show, Bourbon Broncos No BS, 7 p.m. Mountain Time. And then we got our tailgate talk 1 hour before kickoff, as well as our halftime hash, which goes live obviously right at halftime. And all of those shows are geared 100% towards interacting with the fans and viewers. So make sure you tune into those other shows and we can get to your comments a whole lot quicker and be a whole lot more interactive. So, but do appreciate everybody who's listening and tuning in while we're live. Awesome. So next thing I kind of want to pass over to you, Rob. Thinking about Wilson and how he's been adjusting so far. Some of my thoughts, looking back to the first two games versus what we saw him do last night, I'm almost wondering if he's just trying maybe a little too hard to not run. Even last night, there were a couple times where it looked like he was about to take off, and then he had like the shovel pass to Cortland, and there was another time too where it looked like he was about to run, and everyone's yelling, "Go, go, go!" And he, makes a quick throw. But we did see him rush a couple times, one for that 12-yarder that almost got us the first down there. So I don't know. What do you think, man? Is Russ maybe still trying a little too hard to like focus on being just a pocket quarterback? Pocket passer, or are we finally seeing him break out and be a little bit more of himself?
That's a great question, Kevin. I personally think that it's not so much that he's trying to remain a pocket passer. I think it's more of the offensive scheme that Hackett and the OC have come up with kind of is more reliant on him passing the ball and staying in the pocket. Personally, I'd like to see him go back to the Russell Wilson, that was with the Seahawks, that would take off and use his legs to extend plays and get those first downs in those, in those tough situations and make the magic, so to speak, happen. But the NFL as a whole has kind of slowly been moving away from the scrambling quarterbacks to more of the pocket passers. And you kind of see that year to year where it kind of, bounces back and forth. You've got Lamar Jackson, Kyler Murray, Russell Wilson, just to name a few. But, quarterbacks like Justin Herbert, they stay in the pocket. Carr stays in the pocket. Mahomes, for the most part, stays in the pocket, but even he, is kind of a hybrid between the scrambling quarterback and the pocket passer. So I don't think it's so much that he's fighting the urge or trying to stay in the pocket. I think it's just the offensive scheme. But I think Russell Wilson needs to be Russell Wilson, and when his gut tells him to take off and run, he needs to take off and run. On the flip side of that coin, he is getting older. He probably wants to protect himself a little bit more, have that longevity of a career. And, I'm sure he wants to be like, Tom Brady and play until he's 45 or 50. But, it's just one of those things that I think it's kind of a balancing act. But hopefully as the season progresses, he'll kind of find his groove and we'll start seeing him shine a little bit more than he has of recently. But, it's still early. There's plenty of football left. And, I'm not giving up hope or throwing him to the wayside just yet.
Definitely not. No, I like what you're saying. John, what you got?
Yeah, I don't have a problem with what he's doing. I like the fact that he's trying to play quarterback and not play one of these, Lamar Jackson type players. That's just not the scheme we're trying to play. He's older. He's got the experience. We're not trying to go out there and have him take 20 hits a game from running the ball. Right. And if you look at success, name the last true running quarterback that was in the Super Bowl.
Right.
You don't see Kyler Murray in the Super Bowl. Lamar Jackson, haven't seen him in the Super Bowl
Well,
yet.
actually, Kyle Murray goes to the Super Bowl a lot.
When he plays
Madden. In Madden, yeah. So he's very familiar with the pressure and the game of being in the Super Bowl. Yeah. So.
Nah, Kevin, he don't play Madden. He plays Call of Duty. Come on.
Oh yeah, that's right. Sorry, Call of Duty. My bad.
And I'm not saying that those schemes can't work. That's just not the offense we're running. Kevin, you brought up the shuffle past the court and something. I thought that was actually one of his better plays, and I'm excited for Russell Wilson.
Yeah.
Because he got smoked by two different guys on that play right after he tossed it. Like you see the replay, you see the catch, and in the background you see Russell just getting destroyed by which was awesome. That drive, I was very excited about that drive, and I think we took a sack or a negative yardage play and kind of blew up the whole thing. Yeah. No, I don't have a problem with the way he's playing. Cam Newton, there you go. And that was a little while ago, and I try and not think of. Well, I do think of that game, but
that one, yeah.
I think of that game a lot, but I don't think he won that game. If my memory serves me,
right.
Von Miller is Cam Newton's daddy.
I was just gonna say that,
man. But no, I think that's fine. The other thing, though, we're getting in what I think is field goal range, and we're punting the ball more than.
Yeah.
There was a couple of times where we've been, 55, 56, maybe 59-yard field goal, and this is coming from the guy that was ready to do a 64-yard field goal to win a game with a minute left.
Right.
So maybe it's game flow. Maybe it's, having a lot of confidence in the defense. But, I mean, we do have to put McManus out there sometime on those long ones. Right.
Now, I didn't see it from my point of view. I didn't go back and watch the replay. What happened to that field goal he missed? Did it get tipped, or did he just?
No, he just shanked it right.
Yeah,
just shanked it right. Okay.
From
my point of view, I couldn't see what happened exactly. So, and they never show you the replay when it's a missed field goal. Yeah.
No, it was just a bad kick.
The other team.
I didn't see like a bad snap. I didn't see a bad hold. I think it was just a miss.
Well, which is crazy because he hit, what was that one that he hit? 57?
55.
55. And then that one that he missed was a 54.
Like it was pretty similar.
It was right there. So it's just kind of crazy that he made the one and then shanked the one right. But you can't hit them all,
Yeah, I mean, 50-yard field goal, you got to expect you're not going to be. If you're hitting 70% of 50 yards plus, that's a good kicker right there. So there's going to be those misses in there. What would be nice is if we could get him, if we're not going to get the touchdowns, get him in that 30, 40-yard range. But we can't. We seem to hit a wall right where we're getting to that 50-yard kick area.
Yeah, it's like if we can bust past the 50-yard field goal range, we do well up until the red zone. Like there's the yellow zone or whatever. Like we do well there.
30 yards.
Once we get into the yellow zone, we're good.
Hey,
Once
wait a
we get to
minute.
the red zone. Whoa, hold on.
Wait a minute, Kevin. I'm so glad you brought that up because John, you had a great comment in our group chat. We had a red zone package, people.
Yep.
We had a heavy package for the love of Jesus. Thank you.
It's like somebody's listening to the Orange Weekly podcast. I don't know.
Once or twice.
We did, and guess what? We scored a touchdown from the 1 yard. I've never been more nervous to be at the 1 yard line than at that.
Yep.
But I can think of it
with Gordon running the ball.
Man,
it's like once we get the 5, it's like I'm not excited that we're here. I should be excited. I'm not excited because more often than not, bad things have happened.
I think it was first down on the 5 yard line, and we ran it and got 4 yards. I was like, man, I really wish he had scored there. I don't feel good about
I don't like that he went down on the 1.
Start having PTSD flashbacks.
Jeez.
But we did it, guys. Progress. We made progress. We scored from the 1 yard line. History did not repeat itself yesterday.
Nope. We have made progress. And the cool thing is not only to see the team making progress, but you look back through what we've been through the last 6 years, and the progress the team has made, is really awesome. And you can also look back to human progress from the last 6 years and some of the achievements we've made. Technology, through technology. And it's been great. One of the newest things that have come out lately is the Raycon wireless earbuds. Guys, these things are fantastic. I see some laughs. That means I did an okay job with that.
I wonder where you're going with that one.
Yes. Okay. So, but seriously, you know, whether you're listening to this podcast or, you know, when you're working out, you're at work or you're reading a book and you need some earbuds, you know, all those situations are great. And what I've been using them for as well. You know, the Raycon wireless earbuds are the way to go. Raycon's everyday earbuds, they look, they feel, they sound better than ever. And they have some optimized gel tips for that perfect in-ear fit. So the earbuds are comfortable and they will not budge. Tell you what, guys, doesn't matter if you're mowing the lawn, if you're walking the dogs, you're working, whatever this is, these are comfortable, they'll fit. You're not gonna have to worry about, you know, ear pain or them falling out or anything like that. They also give you an 8-hour playtime as well as a 32-hour battery life, and they're priced just right, guys. You're gonna get quality audio at half the price of other premium audio brands. So really, it's not a surprise that they have over 50,000 5-star reviews. A couple of the cool features they have: 3 customizable sound profiles. So whether you're listening to a movie, a book, or a podcast, or you know, whatever the case is, you can customize sound profiles to give you the best audio quality for that. Also, some noise isolation. If you want to focus while you're doing work and you just want to have a podcast like the Orange with You podcast in the background, or you want to focus while you're studying, they also have noise isolation as well. Some other features, the earbud tap functions and awareness mode as well. So these things are really smart, technologically advanced, and are going to give you some great audio. What you need to do, guys, is go to buyraycon.com today and use code TPPN15. That's 15 to get 15% off your Raycon order. That's promo code TPPN15 at buyraycon.com to score 15% off. Again, buyraycon.com, code TPPN15. Okay. Let's see. Kind of broke down most of the offense. What about special teams, guys? I know we talked about the punter earlier, but what else are we seeing from the special teams that maybe is different than the past, other than they don't absolutely suck?
We don't have Tom McMahon.
Oh, we got to stop here, guys. Wait. We got a cool cat here. Everybody at AutoZone gets to hear our podcast because they play us over the work radio.
Oh, perfect.
Hey, fantastic. You know, we are making moving up the chain there, if you will, guys. You know, people are like, oh, who is this? And then they find out. So
Well, hello, AutoZone, wherever you are.
Texas AutoZone. Yep.
Perfect.
But yeah, back to special teams. What do you guys think?
Well, there's no Tom McMahon, and as we alluded to earlier, our punter was fabulous. And yeah, I mean, that's all I got. I couldn't be more happier than just no Tom McMahon. I'm good.
Coverage team looks much more improved from previous seasons. I mean, we're getting on those kickoffs, man. We are getting guys down well before the 20-yard line, and it's really a rush of guys that we're getting there. It's not just one like good tackle. There's like 3 or 4 guys around the ball carrier when these plays are being made, which is awesome. Like, how many times over the last 5 years have we just seen busted coverage and long returns? So far through 3 games, fingers crossed, we made some good strides there. And then Washington as our kick returner, didn't see I don't think we saw any kick returns, but we did see a few
punt returns. But yeah, no kick returns.
You know, through the first 3 games, he looks like the real deal as a rookie. Late round pick rookie. And he's just elusive and fast. And man, our special teams is no longer the issue. That should not be. Yeah. Right? They always say you have to play all three areas of the game, right? Defense, offense, special teams. You would think special teams wouldn't be that big of a factor, but being a Broncos fan the last 5 years, we know how much a bad special teams can play a factor in winning or losing a game. So it's just nice to no longer feel like, the hair on the back of our neck is up every time we're punting the ball or anything like that.
What's going to go wrong this time?
Yeah. Lots of improvement there. And it's one of those things. It's kind of like the the left guard, right? If we don't hear about it, that means it's probably doing pretty good. Now, if we can add in some kick returns for touchdowns, now it makes us better. But it shouldn't be an area that we're talking about every week, right?
Right. And the reason I bring it up is because of these points, right? We've seen it through 3 weeks. It wasn't just a fluke in game 1, game 2. They're starting to show consistency there, right? So it's probably not something we bring up every week. But also, Montreal, Washington, guys, watch out for this guy. I still think he's dancing around just a little too much. He's pausing just a half of a second. It is not a lot, right? But it's just that half of a second that is slowing him down. And once he gets past that, and it might be a year or so, right? For him to get that experience going to the offseason with it, right? This guy is going to be phenomenal. I mean, he's also making plays on the offense as well. Let's see. This last game, he actually didn't have any targets, but I know he did in week 2. He had that jet sweep. He almost got around and, was going to make a huge play if it was because he was cooking there. But so this guy is just going to get more involved, not just special teams, but offense as well. So, man, big shout out to Montreal, Washington, because I think that's going to turn out to be a great pickup.
I don't think he's, and things could certainly change, but I don't see him being a big factor in the offense.
No.
On a play-by-play, series-by-series type of a guy, but he does offer that jet sweep option. And when he gets the ball in his hand in the backfield going around the end, he could make some guys miss and pick up, 10, 15, 20 yards. And why that's important is it gives us just another facet of our game that we haven't had in a few years for teams to game plan against and kind of hold their defense to stopping that, even if he doesn't get the ball. They still have to play as if he was getting it. So it just adds another dynamic to our offense that we haven't seen.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I still miss the days of Trenton Holiday, 5'11", hauling ass down the field and scoring kickoff return touchdowns and punt return touchdowns. But Washington has definitely a bright future returning punts and kicks. And being on the offense, like John, you said, it's just another weapon in the arsenal. I would like to see Hackett utilize it a little bit more. I think, look at last year. We had Judy go in motion and fake every single time, and everybody's like, yeah, he's not getting the ball. So, it would be nice to see them. And, it'd be nice to see them actually utilize that and, and bring that to the forefront and score some points off of it. But I still miss Trenton Holiday, 5'11" for us short people.
Rob, when was Trenton Holiday on the Broncos?
Shut up, John. I still miss him. Right?
I still miss him.
Like almost 10 years.
Okay.
I don't care.
I still miss Moreno. Okay.
Hey, I'll give you credit, Rob. He still has quite a few records on special team for the Broncos, so I'll give you credit there. It's just funny.
Yeah, exactly.
I've not thought about Trenton Holiday in quite a while.
Right.
Every time I see someone wearing 11, Kevin.
That's what I do. It's not a holiday jersey, though, guys. It's Kevin jersey. Okay, guys, we're going to give our closing thoughts here in a second and maybe
pass. Are we going to talk about the defense at all during this postgame?
Did we not talk about the defense? There's nothing.
Did I black out for a portion of this? And just
they didn't do anything, did they? No.
I guess it was pretty pointless to talk about the defense.
Well, I can bet that we're going to talk about the defense after this because there is a lot to talk about with them. But before we do have other things to talk about in terms of bets. The NFL action is in full swing here at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. We are talking touchdowns, big plays, and even bigger wins like the Broncos had over the 49ers. New customers can bet just $5 on any NFL team to get $200 in free bets if they do. If that's not enough, everyone can boost their winnings with DraftKings Step Up Same Game Parlays. Right now, for every leg you add, you can boost your winnings up to 100% with payouts bigger than ever. Why bet anywhere else? To make things even sweeter, you can throw down on a stepped up same game parlay once per game all season long. Here's what you do to get in on this action. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use promo code TPPN to get $200 in free bets if your team wins when you place a $5 bet on any football game. Again, that's promo code TPPN only at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. Minimum age and eligibility restrictions apply. See the show notes for details. Okay, well, I mean, yeah, defense didn't do too much yesterday, but I guess we can talk about them. No, obviously, star of the game, defense. And we were saying before the show was, man, when the defense and special teams went on the field, people were excited. The stadium was loud, energetic, happy, maybe a little nervous, like, okay, are they going to able to maintain this level of play all game? But, compared to when the offense was on the field and people got, there was no rope. They were not giving them any leeway.
The coaching staff knows there was frustration with the offense.
Yes,
very clear.
Yes, but man, what do you guys think that defense? Rob, you first, man. What stood out to you the most?
Let's just say I'm going to take a play out of Jared's playbook, and we had Josie Jewell back. Okay, we actually had a linebacker in the middle. Granted, there was the one play that he got T lined up,
and that wasn't really fair to ask him to cover that. But
still, I would have been like, "Hey, wait a minute, something don't seem right. This don't seem right." But
like Von Miller in coverage, why am I doing this? What's going on?
Exactly
on Josie Jewell. Hey. At least that wasn't a bigger play. I'll say that. At least it was only a 15-yard play and not a to-the-house play.
Very true. But, yeah, our defense played absolutely lights out. Bradley Chubb, Randy Gregory, both Joneses on the line there. But, yeah, our defense looks phenomenal. And I pray and I think that Denver's defense will keep it up the rest of the year, especially this week. Even though one of the Joneses is in concussion protocol this week, so that kind of makes me a little nervous. But he's a big boy; he'll shake it off. He'll be fine.
Yeah. If Tua can do it, he can do it.
Exactly.
Bro, that was scary. Like I saw that, I was like, "Ooh."
But yeah, DJ Jones, and that's. I hope he's able to play this week. Obviously, safety first. Especially when we're talking concussions, but that's if he's not able to go this week. He's been pretty lights out for us since from the start of the season. Really, having Josie Jewell back is huge. He led the team in tackles. He came up with a sack. I don't know if I've ever seen Josie Jewell have a sack.
No.
Honestly, I don't think he's had many chances, but that was awesome. I was a little nervous on that touchdown drive. Early on, I think it was the second drive of the game. Mm-hmm. They had that long run, that 37-yard run, and we're like, here we go. Should he be playing right now? Is he still feeling some of that injury? But they tightened it up real quick after that drive, which was fantastic to see because we were stopping him on everything from the run game, pass game, nothing. Deebo Samuel, we were very obviously
he was non-existent.
We were not going to let Deebo Samuel beat us yesterday, and he didn't. I don't know if you guys know, but we won that game. And same with George Kittle. The big surprising one for me was George Kittle, his first game back, so maybe there was a little rust for him. Maybe he was still dealing with some injury issues. But covering tight ends has been a big issue for the Broncos for years. So I was nervous about that. And him not to have a big game or really be a factor was, I think, a big point for this Bronco defense. So, look, I'm not saying the 49ers are the best offense in the world, but they're capable. They're well coached.
They have weapons.
Jimmy Garoppolo's been around for a while. I know it's his first start for the year, but he should have performed better than he did yesterday, quite frankly.
He's been the NFC Championship game. Like, he's been around the block, people were saying, and the Joe from the 49ers podcast that joined us, he was saying, Garoppolo just got this playbook 2 weeks ago, and it's like, but he was with the same team last year, and the year before that. Like, this isn't necessarily new to him. Is he out of practice? Maybe. Yeah. Does he have rust? Yeah, sure. I'm sure there's some of that, but I would expect him to be aware of where the back of the end zone is. I'll take it. I almost would have said, okay, no, I'll forget the safety. I'll take the pick six that was going to happen either way. But yeah, guys. So, man, look, even a injured George Kittle would have lit us up in previous years.
Yeah.
I mean, they would have just kept throwing to him nonstop, and it would have worked. So, when they did throw to him, maybe he wasn't out there, maybe only 50% of the time, or whatever they were doing to work him back up or something. I didn't see and pay attention to how often he was out there. But, when they did target him, it wasn't like he had a lot of drops or he was looking crap. Like, we stopped him. When he was out there and they threw to him, we stopped him. And that says a lot about our defense. And Josie Jewell being back there, like, that was huge to have him back. Jonas Griffith made some big plays as well. Obviously, one of the interceptions, the second one near the end of the game there, huge play, right? So the cool thing is we heard it wasn't just one name over and over and over again, right? We're talking about all of these players, the Joneses, Randy Gregory, Bradley Chubb. Let's talk about PS2. Like, PS2 was just shutting things down left and right, and man, at this point, if there's any question that he's, if not the number one cornerback in the league, the number two cornerback in the league, man, I don't know what people are seeing, because he is there,
And Randy Gregory, he looked mad and angry yesterday, and I could not get enough of it. He was in the quarterback space, it felt like, on every play yesterday. It was just great to watch. And even at the end of the game, our offense going 3 and out, like 3 minutes left in the game, we gave the 49ers 2 chances to get, to win the game. And the defense came up big on both those drives.
Man,
just awesome. Like, awesome. I was, again, holding my breath. Like, how much can we really ask of one defense to do? And apparently we can ask a lot.
Yeah.
And honestly, the defense, I'm going to coin a phrase from a buddy of mine, Derek Larson, who joined the show. Appreciate you, bud. Honestly, the defense is playing like Orange Crush 2.0. They're playing pissed off. They're playing with a chip on their shoulder, and that's the way that we needed to play. Look at the 2015 year when we won Super Bowl 50. The defense was playing the same way. They were playing pissed off. They were playing with a chip on their shoulder, and they were playing like they had something to prove. So, it's absolutely, the defense is phenomenal, and I just I really hope that they're going to keep things up, and especially this week. Again, I know I'm jumping into future content here, but it's Raiders week, people. Come on now. We will not give them their first win this season. I refuse.
No, and we're going to need that defense to be good, because as bad as the Raiders have played, and their offense has certainly been suspect, to say the least, they have Devontae Adams back there. We're going to need Surtain and Darby playing at a high level. He's one of the best wide receivers in the game for a reason, right?
Are we getting Justin Simmons back this week?
What's that?
Are we getting Justin Simmons back for the Raiders?
No.
Damn it.
And then Darren Waller, right? Also one of the best tight ends in the league. Plays for the wrong team, of course, but he's going to test us from that tight end position. So it'll be awesome to see our defense continue to thrive. And man, I'd love to get to a point where our defense is not the only reason we're winning games. I want to see, this 24, 31, 30, 40-point games from our offense, because I think we have the talent for sure. Yeah. It's just about getting everyone on the same page, getting rid of those drop passes, people running the right routes. I don't know. Something is off with this offense, and once it's fixed, I think it's going to be a totally different conversation. I think we're going to be talking about a very high-powered offense, right? We didn't pay a guy $250 million to pray that he's going to be good. Like, he is still a premier quarterback in this league, and we just got to get him going. And maybe it's familiarity with the playbook. I don't know. Maybe it's just.
I think there's still some of that.
I don't know.
But I think also you cut down. You get to the point where you only have 1, maybe 2 drops a game at the most. And how big of a change would that help in keeping the offense rolling? Especially on longer passes. Where it would be a first down. It would be that third down conversion, or get us out of a second and long situation. So You cut down on those by 80%, which isn't tough. Like that's something that, man, they should just, it should be
That
something
should be a
clean
thing.
up. Yeah.
Like,
So
especially with the talent, like we've talked for a couple of years now about how much talent we have on this team, especially at the wide receiver position, and to see drops from these guys, it's like, okay, do we have it? Like, are we that talented there? Like, why are we seeing these drops from these skilled players? So it's just got to get cleaned up. And, how do you coach that? Once you're in the NFL, drops should not be a consistent thing.
Right.
And one of our viewers here, Jeff, hit the nail right on the head. Tim Patrick
That's what I was going to bring up.
Severely missed right now because he would not have had any drops. At least I think he would not have. Timmy P was definitely one of those wide receivers that you could throw it in his vicinity and he's going to come down with it. But Kev, if you had to give one game ball to an offensive player and one game ball to a defensive player, who would you choose in that scenario?
Yeah, so offense for me, it definitely would be Kendall Hinton, getting that big pass. Yeah, I took it, John. I took it from you. Kendall Hinton. That big. Yeah, well, I think that was a big, one of the last drives of the game there. What was that, third down? He was able to get open. Russell Wilson was about to take off, but he found a way to get open at the last second and made a huge, huge, huge catch. So, I'm going to leave the easier ones for you guys. They're bigger names, but I think, without him making that catch, I don't think we win this game.
Valid.
So
valid point. No, obviously you took the easy one. What are you talking about? We were all going to say Kendall.
Oh, you're all going to say Kendall. Everyone loves Hinton, right? No, I do too. But defense, I'm going to go the easy route, and I'm going to go ahead and since you offered it to me first, and I appreciate that, Mr. Randy Gregory. Holy crap! I'll admit, I was not 100% sold. I trusted George Payton in the decision. There were still some concerns, are the off-field problems going to follow him? How is he going to adjust to being on a new team? Any of those, the injury, he didn't do much of anything in training camp, none of the preseason games. Like, how long is it going to take him to get into, being an impact player on the field? Week 2, we started to see it last night against the 49ers. Like you said, John, he was all over the place. He was in the backfield consistently. He was playing angry. This guy is a force to be reckoned with, and it's making Bradley Chubb play better too. Teams are really going to have to focus on, hey, who do we put, 2 guys on? Is it going to be Bradley Chubb or Brandon Gregory? Because otherwise, basically, we're in the same position we were in with Von Miller and DeMarcus Ware. Those two just feed off of each other, and it's going to be fantastic to watch. So that's where I'm at.
I think it's just going to get better between those two.
Oh, yeah. Definitely.
No, for me, offense, it was Courtland Sutton. Easy one for me there. They're just on the same page, him and Russell Wilson. That we need to get all the other wide receivers at, honestly. So until it's not that way, it's probably going to be Sutton for a while, unless Javonte Williams goes back to, getting 15 yards 15 carries a game, but getting that 6 yards a carry, getting over 100 yards and 2 touchdowns. But
yeah.
We can all hope for that. Courtland Sutton on offense was clutch from a receiving standpoint because honestly, no one else showed up from a receiving standpoint besides Hinton, obviously. But on defense, I'll go. I would say Gregory, but you've already taken that one. So you took not the one big play on offense, but one of the big plays on offense. I'll go PJ Locke as my defense.
That was going to be my other choice. A good call, but explain yourself.
I mean, making the play of the game, last play of the game there, basically.
Standing in for Justin Simmons, that's huge.
Yeah, huge, but he also plays on special teams, and he's making plays on special teams. Love having him as a depth guy on the team and being able to step up and play and jump in there, especially with Simmons being out. Him and Caden Stearns having to play a little bit more than they normally would.
Yeah, I like it. Rob, what you got, man?
Yeah, you gonna answer your own question?
I mean, you saved me for last. So honestly, I'm going to start with defense first, but I'm going to give a game ball to Pat Surtain. Because he did not allow a single reception that entire game.
Is that true?
Well, I
100% true.
went back and I watched the film, and he is just
That's commitment right there.
he is a man amongst a man amongst boys. Honestly,
Yeah.
I mean, going up against those wide receivers, he's so fluid and just the way that he flows, and as soon as they stop, boom, he stops on a dime. So I'm really impressed with him. I think he's been a great addition to the defense. And I know I've said this before, but very Champ Bailey-esque. And that's putting him in a high category.
Yeah,
for sure.
But it's true.
But offense, I'm gonna give it to Russell Wilson this game because he showed me that he's not afraid to take off when he needs to, and he had a little more. I'm going to pull the trigger and I'm going to go with my gut this game. Don't get me wrong. I think as a whole, like I've said before, we still have a lot of things that we need to clean up from the coaching to the players and offense and everything. But I'd give it to Russell Wilson this game. He's shown me that he's stepping up and that he's worth that big ass contract we gave him.
Yeah, I love it. Cool, guys. Well, appreciate your inputs as always. Great crew here at the Orange Weekly Postgame Podcast. Do you want to remember or remind everybody about all the other content we have? I mentioned it earlier, the big ones tonight, Monday nights, 9 p.m. Mountain Time, or right when Monday Night Football ends. We'll do Orange Weekly After Dark. Check out Tuesday, Bourbon Broncos, No BS, 7 p.m. Mountain Time, and then our tailgate show 1 hour before kickoff, and our halftime show as well. And then don't forget about the pregame podcast. You can listen to that basically wherever you're listening to this, in terms of the iTuneses and the Spotify's and the Google Plays and all those other places. So appreciate you all tuning in. Yeah, appreciate you tuning in, guys. Look, like I said before, 1 point more than the other team is a win. So here's to that. But we'll go ahead and end it as we always do on a very strong Go Broncos.
Go Broncos.
Take care, everyone.
Do what I like, yeah, I do what I like, yeah, I do what I like. Sip and go, sip is right, and I go with the flow, yeah, I go with the flow, yeah, I go with the flow, cause I know I'm the show. In the zone, here I go, in the zone, here I go. Can